All right, welcome back to the channel. If you're just joining me for the first time, welcome. Today we got a very special event here. My RGN, my randomly generated number with the CMP came up. It was 24,556 maybe. I submitted the packet and this is what showed up. This is how they ship it, overnight priority FedEx. So a little bit of dramatic effect here. This is a marble cutlery Bowie knife. It was just the first one in the top of the box that I grabbed. So, get this box open here. So I submitted my packet in mid-February. I received my RGN. It's not that the knife is this dull, I just can't get it under that flap. Got my RGN in April. And here we are in September, and this, as I said, this is the way it shows up from FedEx. So here's our case. It comes in a Pelican case. I'm sure if you're watching this, you're either waiting on a pistol or you've already gotten yours, or perhaps you've seen some other videos like this. Looks like we got some documentation in this envelope here. Here's our commemorative CMP case, similar, much smaller size, but of course, but similar to the one that I got with my Grand. Let's see if we can figure out how to get this thing open. Some Pelican cases have a button there. I was called Wednesday and I chose rack grade. They offered me field grade and rack. This is what I went with. There's a lot of varying opinions about cost. Wow. Wow. So looks like we've got the frame is Remington Rand and the slide is Ithaca. Wow, this thing looks pretty good. Checkered grips feel really good. A little bit of pitting there on the frame. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Rack grade, there you go, zip tied to the lanyard loop. Just a little bit of wiggle in the slide there, nothing that... I'm not a 1911 expert. This is actually the first one I've ever owned. So your cross cannons for your ordnance symbol looks like it's a little bit wore out there. Camera may not even pick it up. I can just barely see it with the naked eye. So quite a bit of wear there on the barrel. And again, this is rack grade. I've seen some that the finish is pretty much just all gone. The color on this looks pretty good. It's a very odd shade of brown. I think maybe with a little oil that'll lighten up. So we got a Ithaca slide and a Remington Rand frame. Few nicks and bruises there, but nothing terribly concerning. So let's get it apart here and take a look at it. I cut the light there just to take a little bit of the glare off. It's got a little bit of wear there, probably holster wear, I'm sure, over the years. A little mar there in the finish. I can just faintly see a discoloration stripe right through there. I was told, or I read in the CMP forums that is from where it was heat treated in lead to try to harden the slide. I don't know how true that is. Again, I'm not a 1911 expert. I ended up choosing rack. I'd seen a few nice ones. I'd also seen a couple of duds in the CMP forums. But we had a few other financial obligations come through, and I just about told them to withdraw my application when they called me. But there's a lot of discussion about the price, one versus the other. You know, it's $100 difference between a field and a rack, and there's a lot of guys out there that have the opinion of, well, if you're going to get one, you might as well spend the extra $100 for something a little bit nicer. This one looks pretty good. But in essence, you know, cost effective, it's cost effective, however you look at it. So everything feels pretty good. Nice and tight. Maybe just a slight little bit. This is the magazine it came with. I have no idea. I know a lot of the guys were saying that they got a MechGar magazine. This one isn't stamped. I have a MechGar magazine for my Walter, and it's actually got their company seal on it. I don't see that on here. All right, I've got everything broke down here. We got a bare frame. You can see the material there. At first, when I first glanced at the gun, when I picked it up, I thought that might be pitting, but it's actually not. It's just where the finish is coming off. Now, I'm still a little bit confused. And see, you can see, I mean, there's the color at just first glance. You might think that was rust or pitting or something, but that's definitely finish wear. There's a nick right there. I'm still a little confused where they would consider this rack grade. I guess when I take it out to the range and shoot it, we'll see its performance. But other than that, it was rebuilt. The stamps, you've got a Springfield Armory stamp right here, which meant that, you know, Springfield Armory shut down in the mid-'60s just before Vietnam kicked off really hot and heavy. So it was probably rebuilt right before Vietnam, and then 73 Anniston Army Depot in 73, so again right after Vietnam, unless it just, you know, you're talking about the fall of Saigon later on, but likely it is in my belief that this is probably a Vietnam vet. It was probably that era. Maybe it made it to Southeast Asia and came back. I don't know. Here's the slide stop. The parts, I mean, again, the parts look in pretty good condition. Everything's shiny now. I did put a little bit of oil on it. I used my trusty old Remington rim oil wipes. There's a recoil spring plug. And the spring, that was one of the things I would consider changing out in a rack grade, was the spring, but it feels pretty good. And here's our Ithaca slide. You've got plenty of wear on the top. And I did find just one little spot of discoloration right there that might start to be a little bit of rust, but I'll keep an eye on it. I was corrected about this line. I had read in the CMP forums an individual had incorrectly posted that this was heat treated with lead to harden it. It actually was heat treated to soften the slide, and when it slams back onto the frame. The gun mostly is clean. There's a few spots with some oil here and there. It's not too bad. There was actually some grease, I think, yeah, right here on the feed ramp. Take our barrel here, and it is a government contract barrel. It's not the one that came with the gun, either Ithaca or Remington ran. This was a later edition, probably in one of the Armory rebuilds. So the barrel itself is definitely a chrome-lined barrel, product of the Vietnam generation. And I say it like that because I don't know, early 60s, mid-60s, whatever. That's when the M16 started getting their chrome-lined barrels, when the M16 was adopted. So I think this barrel looks pretty good, and I cannot wait to get it out to the range and shoot this thing. So one thing I was concerned with, again, the price. There's a lot of discussion about the, you know, if you're gonna, you know, to me, $100 is $100, and $200 for a service grade just wasn't an option, and I almost had to turn this one down. So I went ahead and went with it. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see I am a dad of 3. There's other stuff going on around here other than my firearms collection. I haven't bought a gun since 2017, so I haven't bought or traded for a gun. I inherited a couple from an uncle of mine, but other than that, I have not bought or sold a gun in a while. So this is not a, you know, couple times a year occurrence for me. This is once in a decade, it almost seems like, when I come up with a new gun. But even before I got married, I didn't really barter and trade in firearms too often. Most of the guns I've had for quite some time. So give everything a good wipe down. I did see one guy in the CMP forum. I'm trying to think of. I've been stalking the CMP forums ever since I submitted my application. There's a lot of questions and answers, a lot of complications people have run into, and I'm trying to compare and contrast what I've read against what I actually got here, especially being a rack grade. This spring doesn't show a lot of malfunctions or discolorations. That was one of the first things I looked at, was a Wilson Combat spring. I mean, this thing, when I got my Garand from the CMP, that was one of the first things I did replace, was the op rod spring, because it had a kink in it. So, I mean, the spring, it feels pretty good. The action feels good when I rack it. Other than just some general wear here and there. You know, if you see these shiny places on a Garand, you're naturally going to want to put some grease on there to try to ease the friction. Again, I'm not as familiar with 1911s. As I educate myself and I go on with this thing, maybe my opinions will change just a little bit. I mean, you can see we got a little bit of residue, dirt and carbon coming off of here, but not a whole lot. I guess this one was cleaned fairly well. I have no idea how to date a slide like this. There's no obvious numbers or serial numbers stamped on it. If you've got any ideas, drop me a comment in the section below. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to get everything back together and we'll close it out. Here's a quick side-by-side comparison of the appearances of the 1911 that I just got versus my carry weapon, the Glock 26. As you can see, there's quite a bit of holster wear on the Glock 26, and there is on the 1911 as well. It's just not near as evident. This is, again, a gun that I carry on a regular basis, and the previous owners carried it, and I don't have any. I'm not saying 1911s are better than Glocks or whatnot, but just in general, the piece that I received from the CMP is in better condition than this Glock, which I probably paid half as much for. But I wanted to show a quick comparison of the holster wear and the finish wear and just how it does look in general. So thanks for watching. Thanks for checking me out. I'll have some more videos up about the 911 soon. So like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.